Hey guys, Peter here to do an album review. Today I'm here to tell you all about the latest album from Jinjer, Macro, out October 25th on Napalm Records. This album has 9 tracks, 41 minutes in length, and this the band's 4 full-length album. This album really works as a sequel to Micro, the EP that came out earlier in the year. When you analyze the sound of this record, the content, the lyrical content, the structure of the album, you really feel like Micro was just an appetizer to the main course, and now this album is definitely the main course. This album offers everything that we've gotten to know from Jinjer: progressive melodies, heavy drums at times, jazz beats, beautiful clean vocals, groovy cascading riffs, brutal growls, killer riffs, consuming bass lines, reggae. All of these components are present on this record. To me, the key of this album is not the Jinjer DNA or those key components that we've gotten to get used to on every single album that they've released, on every single EP that they've released. To me, the key factor is how they put them together, how they were orchestrated together. So you have this basic DNA that's made up this band, and how they construct the tracks on this album, how they've constructed the whole record together is what's the difference from this album to previous albums. While using some of the same elements, while using a lot of those same elements, they were able to construct songs that were very different, very unique, that have a different feel, a different flavor, a different sound to it, a different approach. That is what sets this record apart from previous records, not necessarily the condiments that went into creating the record. The album overall really offers a more polished sound that really allows the band to continue to push their boundaries and really expand on what they've done in the past. It's really obvious with this record that they are a more mature band, that they understand themselves better, they understand where they've been, where they are, and more importantly, where they want to go. The structure of this album really allows the record to flow from track to track while giving your brain an exercise in comprehension at every single turn. The album is so complex, even within the structures of individual songs, but then when you multiply that by 9, you have a lot of complexity on your hands. You really have an album that takes a lot of you, that really requires a lot of attention in order for you to really digest what you're experiencing. It's not one of those easy to digest albums, but their music is complex in nature, so the record overall is going to have that representation in it. It's an album that has a lot of moving pieces, it has a lot of moving parts, and you have to pay attention to all of those details because everything is there for a reason. Everything is there to enhance the overall experience of the listener. This album starts off with a song called On the Top, which is a very traditional Jinjer track. It has all of the same things that we've seen from Jinjer in the past, so it was a very nice way for them to start off the record with, perhaps on this album, one of the more traditional, if for lack of a better word, one of the more traditional Jinjer songs. And then they finish off with Perennial, spelled backwards, which it pulls off of the melody and the overall concept that Perennial had in Micro, when it was released in Micro. So I really like the fact that they started off with a track that is so familiar in sound and structure and feel, and it was a perfect introduction to the overall record. And then they finish with a song that completely turns you on your head. Perennial is not just spelled backwards, the whole track is absolutely phenomenal. One of my favorite tracks on the album. It's the perfect closing track. It's almost a musical cliffhanger. That's the best way I can describe this last track on the album, is a musical cliffhanger, because it really leaves you hoping for more. What's going to be around the corner? What did I just listen to? Perfect way of closing off this album. Tati's vocals on this record, I mean, what can I say about her vocals? I always feel like I've understood exactly what to expect from her vocally. And this album still surprised me, still impressed me, specifically with her clean vocals. Absolutely haunting. The melody that comes out of her voice during the clean vocals, during this record, is haunting. It's so emotionally driven. You feel the emotion dripping on every single word that she says. Obviously, the harsh vocals really complement that, both musically and from an emotional perspective. So I really like the combination of two, as I've always liked the combination and how she delivers them both to really create an emotional roller coaster from track to track. But her clean vocals are absolutely phenomenal. The tone, How she drops down, how she brings all the emotion to the delivery is absolutely phenomenal. On a record like this that has a lot of emotional content, specifically from a lyrical perspective, you really need that delivery to match the same sort of atmosphere that the lyrics have, and she does it on this record. This is without a doubt, in my opinion, one of the standout albums of the year. Absolutely phenomenal. These guys, it's one of those bands that I think that, you know, they're not going to surprise me, and they end up surprising me with every single release that they put out. Incredibly talented band, incredible record. Like I said, one of the standout albums of the year. Now, as far as songs are concerned, I really want to concentrate on 3 tracks that haven't been released yet, and I want to start off with Retrospection. Great opening guitar melody on this song, very melancholic, and that matches perfectly well with the clean vocals in Ukrainian that really grow in intensity as the song starts off. The melody stays through within the dark, more melancholic parts. This is a song that really has 2 worlds, has a more melancholic, dark aspect to it, and then it has a more aggressive aspect to it. The switch between the two happens on 3 different levels. It happens on a language level because the song changes from Ukrainian to English. It happens on a delivery, on a vocal delivery, because it changes from clean vocals to harsh vocals. And then obviously it changes the intensity of the guitars and the drums. So you have a song that's divided into these 2 Jekyll and Hyde worlds and changes on 3 different components. So you have a lot of moving pieces, but overall you have a song that's so robust, that has so much volume. The melancholic portions of the song are so dark, they're so haunting, and then the aggressive side of the track absolutely pushes this into a complete new level. One of my favorite songs, a song that really merges a child's lullaby with death metal. When you consider these 2 moving pieces, these 2 very polar opposite worlds that are combined into one single track. Pausing Death is another great song on this album, a song that has vocal aggression, harsh vocals from the beginning, and when the vocals temper off in aggression, when they switch from harsh vocals to clean vocals, the drums pick up in intensity. Great way of constructing a song that has alternating moments, but here the alternating moments are done by 2 very different components, the vocals and the drums. I absolutely love that aspect of this track. I love the heaviness that it gives to the track. It's a track that has heaviness in it, even in those more mellow moments when you have clean vocals, because the drums are absolutely brutal during those portions of the song. So it's a song that has just great dynamic, great atmosphere all the way through. There is a little bit of a stripped down middle bridge with clean vocals that is just absolutely phenomenal. It really pumps the brakes on the track. It switches the track completely. It changes the mood, it changes the vibe of the whole song, but then it makes a complete U-turn and brings back that darker atmosphere, finishing off with a heavy barrage of riffs and growling vocals. What a masterpiece of a track. Last but not least, Home Back. Heavy and dirty riff that stays with this song. I really like the sound of the guitar on this track. It just feels unpolished. While the whole record feels extremely polished, this song has this unpolished feel to it that just works extremely well with the overall atmosphere that the song has. That, with the addition of Tati being able to weave her vocals through the maze that this track has, is absolutely phenomenal. The combination of that dirty riff with her ability to just go in and out of the track with clean, harsh vocals, in and out, always choosing her spots, really creates a song that has a lot of volume and thickness to it. I really like the stripped down portion of this song. There's a middle bridge that has a little bit of a jazz, almost bossa nova feel to it. Such a cool introduction to a song that has already a lot of heaviness to it. So that changes the song completely for that portion of time, and then it reignites itself by switching the dynamics, switching the feel that the song has, returning to its origins, returning to that heavy dirtiness of that guitar riff with the matching vocal approach. Absolutely phenomenal track all around. A song that really has, in that middle bridge, the heartbeat of the track. I love this album. I love Macro. I love Jinjer. They did not disappoint with this album. And like I said, if you enjoyed Micro, this album just pushes it all the way to 11. It really expands on what they did with the EP, and now you're going to get on a full-length release. Let me know your thoughts on the band, on the album. Use the comment section below. As always, I'll be reading those and getting back to you. Take care, guys.